Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today we've got some toilet talk for you. In particular, we're going to go into the pedantic subject of the types of toilets that are on Battleship New Jersey and why that is. We never set out to make this video, but we recently came across a New York Times article talking about reactivating the ship for Vietnam and why Captain Snyder basically forced the Navy, requested forcibly, to have all of the toilets on the ship changed. So, first off, as built, Battleship New Jersey does not have any sewage holding tanks. Everything originally just goes straight out the bottom of the ship into the sea. It's not until 1967, 1968 that the ship is being reactivated for Vietnam that the standards have changed that require ships to have holding tanks to at least hold their sewage until they're out into international waters. So ships that had already been built are grandfathered in. However, New Jersey being reactivated, they decide to add these new holding tanks, and they will eventually do that for all the Iowa-class battleships by the 1980s. The fact that they're adding holding tanks requires some substantial changes to the plumbing. Initially, there's a valve over every toilet that you just turn on, and it constantly runs seawater. The fire and flushing main is a seawater system that is constantly charged. And originally it was easy enough to build the ship to just be pumping seawater in and constantly running through these systems. Today's video is brought to you by Established Titles. Established Titles uses the ancient Scottish tradition of making landowners a laird or lady, lord or lady, by simple merit of owning property in Scotland. So Established Titles allows you to buy as little as 1 square foot of property in Scotland to become a Scottish lord or lady. This is a prefix like Mr. or Mrs. that you can put on things like your plane tickets, your credit cards, and even your dating profiles. That one's my favorite. They send you a certificate like this one. I'm Lord Ryan Szymanski now. Established Titles makes a great last-minute gift idea. Remember, the holiday season is approaching. And they donate to One Trees Planted and Trees for the Future. I absolutely love this environmentalism about the company. Remember to use the discount code BATTLESHIP to get 10% off your next purchase. And the first 200 people who purchase will get a plot right next to mine in the same kingdom. Established Titles makes a great last-minute gift, and they're running an amazing sale right now in addition to our discount code, so go over there soon. Go to establishedtitles.com/battleship and use the discount code BATTLESHIP to get your gifts now and support our channel and our museum. There were some commodes, like regular type toilets, that may have had a flusher on them, or they may also have had a valve like this. But pretty much, you turn the valve on and seawater's just constantly running. The urinals were like that. Many of the commodes could have been like that. I haven't looked at pictures enough to figure it out. Also, it's not like people took that many pictures of them or things like that. And then there were also big troughs that had wooden seats on them, and they would just constantly have water running through the trough. So as you're doing your business in this, and on many ships there were not even partitions between these, so you just all line up on this trough, and there would probably be another trough on the other side of the room, and you're looking at the guy next to you, and do your business, and there's just a river running under you, washing everything away. That's how the ship originally was. Now that we have to hold water in a holding tank, though, we can't just have the water continuously going, or within a couple of hours, those holding tanks fill up. And remember, you can't pump them overboard. If you're in port, you have to go out into international waters. Nowadays, we're tied up to a pier. So we have sanitary lines flushing water onto the ship and taking wastewater off of the ship. However, when New Jersey was in service, often she couldn't tie up at a pier. She's out in the middle of the harbor somewhere anchored, and her crew's coming back and forth by boat. So you're in a port, but you don't have sanitary hookups. You can't have this running all the time. So this is all just a long story to tell you that by 1967, they have to make major changes to the plumbing. So originally, many of the urinals, commodes, other fittings on the ship are made out of stainless steel. Like these sinks behind me, which actually, these 3 valve types, these are original World War II era sinks. That's cool. Many of the fittings in the bathrooms are made of stainless steel like that. Why are we using a more precious resource like steel during World War II? It's because the Iowa-class battleships are limited by international treaty. So having a shell of a steel fixture like that is a lot lighter than porcelain. Also, it is less likely to break than porcelain. However, it is far more time-consuming to clean. When Captain Snyder took over as the commanding officer of New Jersey, he knew that New Jersey was being reactivated for one thing: to fight in the Vietnam War. He wasn't taking over a ship that was going to spend time showing the flag in the Atlantic and going to the Mediterranean, doing this. He knew he was going to the gun line off Vietnam. So he knew he was inheriting a fighting ship, and his crew, therefore, was going to spend a lot of their time training and fighting the ship. His crew did not have a lot of time to spend cleaning a stainless steel urinal. So I don't know any of you guys have ever had stainless steel fittings before, but stainless steel isn't stainless. It stains very easily. It's incredibly dirty. These sinks over here obviously haven't been cleaned in a long time, but you can see that you've got corrosion on them. You've got leftover soap scum. Even water that slops up on there leaves a very visible stain. Plus, remember, our sanitary systems, our fire and flushing mains, are salt water. So that's even more corrosive than the fresh water that your toilets at home use. So Snyder insists, he absolutely insists, that they change all of the toilets out on the ship to be made out of porcelain like these. And so we don't even have any of those original stainless steel ones left to show you. Now, it just seems like all of the sinks in the Navy inventory at that time are the stainless type. The sinks remain like this, except in some of the officers' spaces. But keep in mind, the sinks use fresh water, not salt water like the heads. And so Captain Snyder, specifically for the benefit of his crew, insists that these all get converted when they're doing the rest of the plumbing. And you know, of our various commanding officers, there is a very, very strong argument to be made that Snyder is the most loved, most respected of any of them. I have never heard a negative thing about him from any of this ship's crew. Even people who were punished by him for various things, they always say that, oh yeah, he caught me doing something I wasn't supposed to. The punishment was completely appropriate for the offense. I never heard anything bad about him. And because he mixes leading the ship with taking care of his men, even in something as small as making it so that they don't have to clean the toilets on board as often. Not only did the battleship's crew thank Captain Snyder in the 1960s, but us museum staff crew are still thanking Captain Snyder because many of our commodes on the ship still work. Obviously, these don't. But you can come on board and use some of the ship's original facilities if you're on board for a tour, an event, an overnight program. And thankfully, it is things like this with partitions between them and not that trough thing. If you want to see an example of the trough thing, believe it or not, this isn't the first video on toilets that we've done. There's a link in the description below to some other videos that we've done. God, are we going to make a playlist just about toilets? How did this become my life? What are some other topics that you guys want to see, some obscure things you want us to talk about on the ship? Let us know in the comment section down below. I never thought I'd be talking about the different patterns of urinal that this battleship had, but here we are. I don't answer all the comments on YouTube. There's a link in the description below to my Facebook page if you want to head over there and drop some content ideas. Remember to go through our list of videos before you make a suggestion. There's a strong chance that one of the literally 1,000 videos we've made in the last 2 years already covers it, but feel free to head over to my Facebook page and drop a suggestion. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. It allows us to restore bathrooms on the ship. We really appreciate the support in today's video from Established Titles, who sponsored us. That goes right back to the museum and the ongoing restoration work of things like toilets and keeping the ship afloat. Remember, there's a link in the description below to their page. They make a great last-minute gift idea. There's a big holiday sale running right now, and you can get an additional discount by using our code BATTLESHIP. Remember, all that goes back to supporting the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.